Hey everybody, this is Rick with Lone Wolf Detecting. Today is January the 14th, and I just wanted to show you we were supposed to get less than an inch of snow, and ended up getting 6 inches on top of the 4 to 6 that was already there. So it's been about 4 or 5 days now since the last storm came through, and doesn't look like we're going to be detecting here for at least a few more days. We got some warm weather coming in, so hopefully we'll get a little bit more melt off and get out there and try to chip through some of the frozen ground if we can find some bare spots. I'm going to show you some other footage that I have that is from hunts in December. I've got kind of a paper towel roundup we're going to do from 4 different hunts and explain some different settings and what I was able to find. Okay, so this hunt was about the second week in December. We had not had any snow yet. The ground was nice and dry. I had the Garrett AT Gold set up with the 8.5 by 11 inch coil. I was in discrimination 1 with the iron discrimination set at about 35. And I'm going to show you a little bit of difference of what happened here. But started out, I've got 16 modern pennies, 1 nickel, there's 7 dimes, 6 quarters, and some tokens. All of this, all modern. The see if we can get some of this better focused here. There's a PPP token. I found one other like this before. There's the ever popular Chuck E. Cheese token. This one is Odyssey Game Center. And this one I have no idea. It's octagon in shape, slightly flat sides on it. Maybe see these turban type towers on it. And on the other side, it looks, it's odd. I have no idea what this is from. If anyone out there knows, please let me know. I'd like to at least know what this is that I found. It appears to be copper token of some sort, but I have no idea what it's to. Also found a countersink drill bit, little kid's earring, and this is a wheat penny. Probably the best find of the day, but even though it is pretty toasted, but that is a 1935D wheat penny. So we'll move on to the second day at the same park. This was on a Monday, and the other one I went back 2 days later on a Wednesday, again before any storms came in, and show you what I found there. Okay, so here's day 2 at the same neighborhood park. This was a small park behind some homes that were built in the late 1950s, early 1960s. Don't think it's been searched all that much. It's got, on one end there's a tot lot and a basketball court, and then the rest of the park is just a big open field, and part of it backs up to a church, and then there's one corner that has a creek running through it and a little bit of treed area. So the first day was around the basketball court and the tot lot. This was the day that I was out in the field, more in the open area, and got a couple of unique finds. There's 16 regular pennies here, 2 nickels, 4 dimes, 5 quarters, all modern change. This is an overall button, as best I can tell. Get a little bit better sharpness over here. So Just, I think, a regular old button from a pair of overalls. Oops, I want a penny. Get that in a bit. Dug up this old cap gun. What was left of it anyway. The barrel is missing. There was a little piece here that was separate from the bottom of the gun, and it had the Longhorn steer on there and a Texas Star. Other than that, I can't really read anything of it. This find, I got a 94, the same settings on the Garrett. I didn't change the settings at all. But I got this, and this was really badly dirt encrusted. It was down about 8-9 inches deep, dug through the dirt, hit a gravel layer, and had to dig about 2 inches down into the gravel, 2 to 3 inches down in the gravel. And when I found it, it was this way, and I thought, oh, I just dug this big hole to get a piece of junk iron or something. But it came up 94. 94 is typically on the AT Gold is going to be like in the silver dollar range. So it was something I wasn't going to give up on. I wanted to get down there. And this turns out to be what I believe is a rosette off of a bridle or a saddle. The brass pieces are broken off. But right down there in the middle, I don't know that I can focus on that or not. That's what made the day. It's sterling, and this is probably a good 1.5 ounces to 2 ounces of silver. So that was definitely the find of the day there. Nice big sterling silver concho or rosette off of a horse tack is what I believe. It possibly could have been off of a Western style belt, but having a belt with a bunch of rosettes or conchas on it like that would have probably been pretty expensive. Also found this little button or pin. I'm not sure which. It's kind of missing some stuff on the back. Does have a little bit, but it looks like there's glue around it, like it was glued to something. Anyway, it came up. This is the way I saw it first. And that's all like gold plating on the back or gold chrome or whatever it was. And I thought, oh boy, I got something good. And pulled it out, flipped it over. All the gold is gone. So it's just kind of a neat little piece of jewelry button with what I'm guessing is a glass gem in there of some sort. It's a glass bead or whatever. So that was a little bit of disappointment. This is just a big chunk of lead, so that's going to go in the lead pot and will eventually melt down and cast some bullets out of that. And that's pretty much for that day. So again, spent about 2 hours, the same settings on the AT Gold, iron discrimination at about 35. And in discrimination 1 level, so I have the multiple tones instead of being in the all metal tone where everything is a mid-tone. I like having the separation in the tone ID. So let's go on to a new park, a new day, and I'll show you what I find there. Okay, so this is mid-December 2015. I went to a different park. This is the same park that you've seen in episode 1. And I did a few things differently. This time I decided I was going to dig everything. I changed, still using discrimination 1 in the AT Gold, but I backed the iron discrimination off to about 24. And just deciding that I was going to dig all targets, whether I thought they were foil or I thought they were flip tabs or just a piece of questionable iron, anything that might have been any kind of questionable target at all, it still got dug. I ended up with a ton of trash, lots of bottle caps, pull tabs, flip tabs, pieces of foil, a couple of pieces of iron. But look at the difference here. I've got 13 modern pennies, including a very, very crusty Zinken. You got to see this guy. It's almost unintelligible other than I knew it was a penny. That's these coins that are made out of Alka-Seltzer, I think. They get in the ground. That probably isn't more than 1 or 2 years in the ground, and it is totally undistinguishable that it's a penny other than getting it the size with the rest of these. Some of the other ones, there's one that probably hasn't been in the ground very long, one of the newer Shield ones. But you can tell the copper's much better. This one's got some warts starting on it. So the Zinkens are just, they're disposable, dissolvable coins. It's just ridiculous. But look at the number of nickels that I dug. Instead of 1 or 2, I got 10 nickels there. So, that's a huge difference. Unfortunately, none of them are war nickels. I have pulled a war nickel out of this park in the past. But that's a big difference in the number of nickels. I don't mind that the penny count goes down if I can start pulling nickels out. Got 1 dime, which was probably because of the area I was hunting, is what I'm thinking. There's just a lot of coins there, but this park does get hit, and the number of dimes and quarters has dropped. But here's the good stuff. About 6 inches down. Let me get this to focus. That's a very, very tiny 10-karat gold ring that I found, and that was about 6 or 7 inches underground. Got a fairly good signal on it, and it was down in the about 48 is what it rang up as, because it's just tiny and it was deep, but I got a good solid repeatable tone on it and dug that out, and when I popped the plug it was just laying there. This is exactly how it came out of the ground. I haven't cleaned anything. I haven't wiped dirt off of it or anything. It just came out perfectly clean in some very nice dry dirt. The other find that I got about 10 minutes later was my first Indian head ever out of this park, and that is in 1904. I think you can see the date there. Try and get that to focus a little better. No liberty that I can discern on it at all, but it's not in terrible shape. Date's readable. That's the most important part. As far as I'm concerned, I was thrilled to finally get an Indian head penny out of that park. I found a lot in the past and when I lived in Florida and that, but it just seems that these parks here along the Front Range of Colorado, they're easily accessible. There's quite a few metal detectors out here, and there's a lot of people digging them. So to find an older coin like that in a park that dates from around the 1890s, I think was pretty good. And this is in this one area where I have been concentrating for the last couple of weeks. So let me go on to the last one here and show you what I found. This last dig was my solstice dig, which was the last one of the year, because the day after, on the 22nd, we ended up getting snow, and it's just been, actually we had snow on the ground when I did this dig, and it was very cold. My hands got so cold that they were actually in pain. But let's go ahead and move on to that, and I'll show you what I found. Okay, so this was December the 21st. My dig on the solstice. I only dug for about an hour and a half because it was so cold. But this is what I ended up finding. 16 pennies, 5 nickels, 5 dimes, and 2 quarters. And my very last target of the day, the ever-present spoon. Had to do my first spoon toss in honor of watching all of the Stealth Digger videos, and as soon as I finished watching all those videos, my first time out, I found a spoon. So there you go. Had to do the spoon toss. Unfortunately, I didn't get it on camera, But there you go. Everything here, again, is modern coinage. Because it was cold, I did change my settings a little bit. I still got a good number of nickels. That's when I was probably had it iron discrimination set at about 24, but I finally, to try and cut down on some of the garbage a little bit, I upped my iron discrimination again to about 35, and I was digging everything that rang up about, above 30, 35 or above. Which seems to be the kind of lowest end of any kind of small gold stuff that I've tried. My mom has got a small gold necklace and cross that's 14 karat gold, and I've held that under the coil of the AT gold just as an air check. And I was in discrimination 1 mode, set at about 30, 35, and it was ringing up at 38, and I could only get it to about 1.5 inches in the air test. So that tells me that when you're going for gold, you want to use the least amount of iron discrimination and probably go into the all metal mode, which takes out the ground filtration as well, which is basically discrimination 1 on an AT gold is the same as the 0 mode on the AT Pro. When you go into the all metal mode on the AT Gold, it takes out those ground filter.
Well, so much for the iPhone. It ran out of memory. What I was saying was that the AT Pro in 0 mode and the AT Gold in discrimination 1 are pretty much the same machine. Once you go to all metal mode in the AT Gold, it takes out the ground filtration, so signal becomes a little bit more chattery. If that's a word, it chatters more, which also gives you a little bit more sensitivity. It's more sensitive to really tiny flakes of gold. You'll even start picking up rust flakes and stuff like that. Now you can up your iron discrimination even in all metal mode, but it will not discriminate against that iron. It'll just give it a grunt sound. So if you run it up to say 24, 25, even 30, anything 30 and below then would get a grunt. It's going to give you every signal that's there. So you'll get the grunt sound for any of the small metal, but if it's a non-ferrous target like a piece of gold, you'll get the mid-tone. In all metal mode, everything is mid-tone unless you've got the iron grunt on. So that's kind of the difference between the two machines. Other than that, we're expecting some more snow tonight, so not sure when I'm going to be able to get out again, but hopefully I will have some more for you next week. Until then, good digging, and we'll see you later.